have a component here, the button tied to an event handler in our container. Let's tie also this input field where we can maybe pass here the title of that input field so that we can then pass it up to the container. So this input field is going to be tied. The value is going to be tied to the title of the movie that we're searching for. So this will be search title, right? And again, it's going to be passed down. Going to be passed down to the component. So this component doesn't maintain any state. Yes, it doesn't maintain any state whatsoever. It's being passed down all the way through the parent. Although you could argue, why should the container, my parent container, be bothered with maintaining the state of the title, right? Of such minutia, right? It'd be too burdensome with the container to handle any of this. Wouldn't it be better for this component to maintain its own little state? As long as it doesn't spill over to other component, it'd be okay. It would be self-contained inside of this component, right? And that's actually a legitimate argument, right? So let's do that. Let's modify this stateless component and let's convert it into a stateful component, not because it's safe to change this into a stateful component because it'll have its own state that is self-contained inside of this component, right? It's not spreading out to other components, so it's safe it still become a stateless component from outside, right? From outside, it's still a stateless component. So let's convert this into a stateful or class component by changing this into a class. And this movie component, now we can export it right here. Export class and extends react.component, right? And we can convert this all into a render and then just return this div, right, all the way here, and then close this and close that. There we go, right? And we don't need to do this anymore. We can export the fault right here. The only other change we might need to do is that now these are props, right? This dot props. Yes, they are being passed by the parent. Oops, there we go. Okay, remember, the only reason we're doing this is so that we can perhaps just handle the update of this input field, right? We need an update, right? And we don't need to burden the container with any of this, right? We can maintain that state just right here. We don't have this title just yet. Okay, so it's still working, perfect. All right, so with that in mind, let's actually work on this, right? So that instead of this being this.props and notifying the container of any of this title, we'll maintain our own little state here, right? So we're going to say we're going to have a constructor and super props, very good. This dot state, we're going to declare the search title right here. So search title. At first will be just an empty string. And so this will be now this dot state dot search title. See that? Not props. We're not going to notify and burden the container or any of this. And if it changes, if the input field changes, we're going to notify a local function instead of having to notify our container. So on change, we're going to notify this dot search title changed, right? Changed. So that's a function, and which we're going to handle right here, and is going to receive an event, and the event is going to update. We're going to say this dot set state, and it's going to update the search title. Search title is going to make it whatever the event dot target dot value we have. It will update so that it'll update this input field. All right. So let's try this out. So value is this.state, very good. Okay, I think that's it. Let's try it out now. Let's type. Notice that indeed we are able to change this input state. There was no need to pass this title as it's updating, right, up to the container. Yes? Right, it was better to just keep it and use it just here. The only thing that the parent container might want to know is that if we click on the search, we might want to pass it the title that we want to search. Yes? That is a legitimate use of the container. So let's do that next.